Lance, first question I wanted to ask you is, tell me how you again were alerted yesterday so that there had been a plane crash involving some friends of yours. Take me back to how you found out.
Yeah, so we were traveling on our way out here from Oklahoma for this Royal Crown barrel racing fraternity that's here in Buckeye, and I got an alert on my phone from a quick friend of mine, and they let me know exactly what had just happened, and so yeah, it was a little bit shocking and caught us off guard a little bit, but so it was not a phone call I was expecting for sure.
Yeah. And tell me your relationship with Vince Neil, his girlfriend, some I'm sure extended friends of them. Tell me your relationship with them.
Yeah, sure. So Vince Neil and Rain Hannah and I have been friends for about 15 years. I am a barrel horse trainer from Oklahoma, and I met Vinny and Rain whenever she was interested in buying a horse about 15 years ago, and I was trained a horse for her and started coaching her and giving her lessons, and we barrel race and we go all over the United States. And a lot of people don't know that Vince is a horse person, but he is a guy that likes fast cars, likes fast horses, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And tell me how that relationship has been. It seems like you guys are fast friends.
Yeah, we get along really well. Vince is a good guy. He has a really kind heart, and he has a really strong relationship with my children. My daughters are young, and since they've been really little, they gravitate toward him, and just a good guy. And Rain is she's an amazing person with a big heart, and she's kind. Everybody loves her. A super sweet soul, and and she's really turned into a great horseman and a good cowgirl.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have one of her horses here for this week. Tell me about that.
Sure. So the horse that I won last year's All-In Senior Championship in December in Las Vegas, her name is Cotton Matz King. She belongs to Vince Neil. She's also was our 2024 Triple Crown Senior World Champion. So yeah, he owns the best horse that I have, and our current world champion, and we have a lot of fun with her. We call her Rosie, and she's just a member of the family, right? Now her name's Rosie Neal now.
Tell me that relationship between you and a horse, for folks that at home that don't know how that relationship works.
So we do an event called barrel racing. So you might see it sometimes like the rodeos or the national finals or whatever. But there's a whole entire subculture of barrel racers in the United States and across the world. Actually, I travel all over the world for that. But literally thousands and thousands of people go to events, and it's just barrel racing, and all levels and all stages, all ages of horses, all ages and levels of riders, and from small children to great grandparents. So it's a speed event, it's a timed event, so we have to work on trying to be the best team you can be with the horse that you're riding, and they're your teammate and they're your partner, and it's fastest time wins.
Yeah. And you had mentioned in the Facebook post that you put out alerting everybody that they were on their way here. Describe to me what they were coming out here for.
So we've been planning. We scheduled this event about a month out. The Royal Crown is a barrel racing fraternity event, and so it's also a very popular, large American event, and it's an age event. They have fraternities, which is for particular age horses, but there's open classes and whatever else. And we had decided that we wanted to, get out of the cold from back home. Vince and Rain live in Nashville, and I'm from Oklahoma, and we're like, we need to check out and go to Arizona and warm up a little bit. And today was the first day that we started here. Practice starts, today and whatever. So they were flying in to meet me to pick them up and bring them out here for us to practice today.
Wow. And she rides. Rain actually rides?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she's really she's had a great opportunity to to really work on her craft over the past few years, and she's been doing a great job, and she was top 10 at the World Championships this year, and she's been doing really great, and we hope that she'll be back in the saddle soon and continuing on.
Yeah, absolutely. In that post you had mentioned it's brought you a perspective. This hearing about the crash and it's impacted people you know and love, that life's short is kind of what you put. Describe that for me.
I think that a lot of times we get so overwhelmed and so caught up in what we do, whether it's our work or it's our relationships with the rat race of life that goes on around us, and we don't really. And it's a cliche to say that we don't really take the time to appreciate the things that we have and what's going on until something like this happens, and it can be gone so quickly. Yeah. So I think that it was sure a wake-up call for me. It was a wake-up call for all of us. It was pretty devastating. I've had hundreds and hundreds of calls. Rain's had a lot of friends. Vince has a lot of friends. Of people that kind of shared that sentiment a little bit. All too often in today's society, we worry about being angry or arguing with our neighbor or fussing and being divisive instead of coming together. And it's almost Valentine's Day, which is a time for coming together and human relationships anyway. So it was a wake up call and an interesting time for that to happen. So I hope that it'll give others opportunity to, none of us are invincible, and you just never know when it's your time. You have to, live every day to the fullest and be a good person, be kind, and try to pass that along as best you can.
Yeah. Did you know their pilot too, who passed away?
I did, yes.
Tell me about him.
So, I think I would probably leave that better to his family and to them to tell more about his story. He was always really great to us, and great. Vince sends a jet for us to take us to different places and different events and whatever, and always good to us. Really good to my kids. Super guy. Been a professional for many, many years. Been a friend of Vinny's for a really long time. Just our hearts and our prayers are out to his family. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to give you an opportunity for folks. This is a public event. People can come and see you race. What can people expect if they want to come out this
For
week?
sure. So tomorrow morning starts with the practice runs, and then we have the first initial open race, which is like the event opener. Yeah. The big races start on Thursday, and they go through Friday and Saturday and Sunday. There'll be 1,000 runs here. It's going to be great. People from all over the world come here for this event. I think it's going to be super exciting.
Yeah. Lance, those are all my main questions. Anything I missed you think is important to add at all that you want to say?
No, I certainly appreciate that. I just think that it's interesting a lot of times when you hear somebody's name or read somebody's name in the paper, we don't really understand a lot of times that there's a person behind that. And if I can give anybody any type of perspective that sees this, that Vince and Rain are they could be your neighbors or your friends, or they could be anybody else that's somebody that you think that's special to you and whatever. So just because you've seen somebody on TV or read about them or seen them in concert, there's still a person behind that, and our heart and our community has really broken for them, and we're all praying for them in unison, and I'd appreciate the same kindness from everybody else if you hear this message.